presentation to Her Honour, the Honourable Selma Lacani, Lieutenant Governor of Alberta. My name is Gord Morrison, and it is my distinct pleasure to be your MC this morning. Alberta Northwest Territories Command of the Royal Canadian Legion acknowledges treaties 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10 territories within Alberta. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit whose footsteps we have marked these lands for generations, including the many places that you are joining from. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. We recognize the land as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territory we reside on or are visiting. 100 years ago, the poppy was recognized and embraced as a symbol of remembrance in Canada. The small red flower has endured in the hearts and minds of Canadians, not only as a symbol, but as an enduring thread of fabric in our society. On behalf of Comrade John Mann, Alberta Northwest Territories Command President, and the 160 branches in Alberta, it is my pleasure to introduce Her Honour, the Honourable Selma Lacani, Lieutenant Governor of Alberta.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Hello, everyone. It is my great pleasure to take part in this very important annual tradition with the wonderful women and men of the Royal Canadian Legion. This year holds a special significance as our beloved poppy of remembrance turns 100. It has been a century since our soldiers fell in battle in Europe, with nearby fields of these gentle red flowers standing in sharp contrast to the unthinkable loss and brutality of the First World War. We have proudly worn poppies every year, and to mark each conflict since, united in our shared commitment to honoring our fallen heroes and to ensuring that our veterans receive the care and appreciation they so richly deserve. A century on, the poppy remains a very tangible and powerful expression of our support for the Canadians in uniform who have bravely stepped forward through the decades to help secure peace, safety, and human rights for people around the world. I encourage everyone to embrace this important tradition. While some of our usual Remembrance Day ceremonies may not be possible or may feel a little different this year due to pandemic restrictions, wearing a poppy is something that we can all still do to show our support. As Her Majesty the Queen's representative in Alberta, I offer my most heartfelt thanks to all of our Canadians in uniform for your tireless service. To members of the Royal Canadian Legion, my deep gratitude goes to each of you for your steadfast dedication to our veterans and to ensuring that the spirit of remembrance continues to burn bright in our communities. Finally, to the families of the fallen, I hope that you find some sense of comfort and peace in the knowledge that our commitment to honoring the lives and legacies of your loved ones is as enduring as the poppies we wear each year to remember them. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce the Commander of 3rd Canadian Division, Brigadier General Fletcher.
Your Honor, veterans, Canadians, Albertans, November 11th is a powerful, emotional day for this great nation of ours. It is the one day where we come together from all walks of life and join in remembrance of the sacrifice of Canadians over the course of our history. For many, the day is raw and emotional because the act of remembrance is not about war, it's not about conflict, but rather it is about people, Canadians just like you and me. This is why the Royal Canadian Legion's Poppy campaign is so important. Not only does it bring us together in an overt demonstration of remembrance, the funds raised also directly contribute to the support of veterans and their families. The Poppy is truly a national symbol, and as you've heard, has been for a century, that serves through the recognition of valor and sacrifice in the face of humanity's darkest moments to bring us together in peace and remembrance. I'm honored to be a guest here today to represent the women and men serving in the Canadian Armed Forces. Thank you to those here today and to all Canadians for your support. Lest we forget.
I would now like to introduce Chief Warrant Officer Retired McDonald, President of the Korean Veterans Association Unit 21, and a member of the RCMP K Division Commanding Officers Indigenous Advisory Committee.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor and a pleasure to be invited to this ceremony. The poppy is sacred in our life. You travel the world and the poppy is everywhere. It's a symbol of honor. I didn't know I was going to speak here this morning, so I'm not sure what I'm going to say, but I think it's mostly done now. The poppy and the Sacred Remembrance Day for all Canadians is special. Unfortunately, the pandemic is cutting things short, and our celebrations and remembrance will be cut short, which is not a good thing. And I thank the Legion for the invitation to represent Korean veterans, and thank you so much.
I'd now like to introduce Comrade Dave Letchko, Vice President and the Command Poppy Chair for Alberta Northwest Territories Command.
Your Honor, esteemed colleagues and honored guests, it is with great pride that I'm able to stand with you today as we mark the 100th anniversary of our nationally recognized symbol of remembrance, the poppy. Embraced by the Great War Veterans Association in 1921 and later by the Royal Canadian Legion, this powerful little flower carries with it a nation's gratitude and respect. Originally designed to generate support for our Great War veterans, it now encompasses all conflicts that have occurred since. The pinning of the first poppy is a time-honored tradition, significant as it marks the beginning of the annual period of remembrance and that of the Poppy campaign for the Royal Canadian Legion nationwide. Even more, this symbol represents the courage and strength of our Canadian Armed Forces members and those of our allies who have given the greatest sacrifices in time of need. It serves as a visual reminder of the fallen, of our veterans who remain, and those actively serving as military members and of the RCMP members. Every year, poppies bloom on the collars across our country. And by presenting this symbolic pin to you, we show continued gratitude to our country's sons and daughters willing to fight for our freedoms. Your Honor, with your permission, on behalf of the Alberta-NWT Territories Command of the Royal Canadian Legion, I would like to present you with our province's first poppy.
Miss Kate Wheeler will read In Flanders Fields while the poppies are being pinned.
In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
Members of the Royal Canadian Legion are the people behind the poppy. The future of our veterans and their families is foremost on our minds all year long. The Royal Canadian Legion has spent over 90 years assisting veterans and their families, RCMP, and serving members of the Canadian Armed Forces. From the smallest of branches in the remotest part of our command to the large metropolitan centers, the message is the same. We are here to help. The 2021 Poppy campaign commences tomorrow, October the 29th. There are many ways to donate. Your support helps research initiatives and assistance with filing claims through Veterans Affairs Canada, providing food, shelter, and clothing to veterans and their families in need. On behalf of over 35,000 Legion members in Alberta-NWT Territories Command and the Ladies Auxiliary, I would like to thank Her Honor for taking the time to be with us today. And I'd also like to thank the staff of the Office of the Lieutenant Governor and the Legislative Assembly for their assistance. Thank you for your attendance.